Hello and welcome back to Retro Asylum. Long-time listeners of our podcast show and viewers of this YouTube channel should know that I absolutely love doing all my retro gaming on a CRT TV, a bit like this one here. I'm very lucky that I've got the space and I've actually got 4 CRTs in action that are all working because I've got a shed as a games room. Now, I'm not knocking anyone who plays games on an LCD display. If you're happy with that, then by all means carry on. But for me, I think it looks a bit nasty, depending on the game. But pixels, I think, look too blocky and too clean. And they should have scan lines, not the scan lines in emulators, proper scan lines from a CRT TV. Anyway, the reason I'm doing this video is because my co-host Steve Erickson is always banging on about his latest Raspberry Pi build. But, as I say, not being into the LCD look, I've always been put off by it. That was until I discovered this. It's called an RGB-Pi. And yes, it is a Scart lead that plugs into the GPIO of the Raspberry Pi itself. And then that plugs into the back of your TV. Now, there are other people who make Scart leads for Raspberry Pis, but this company here, or development team behind it, also have done their own operating system. So essentially, you're turning your Raspberry Pi into a console that hooks up to a CRT TV, and you can put whatever ROMs you want to put on it for a lot of different systems. So I've always wanted a PC engine, but they do not display RGB out of the box. You either have to mod it or you can buy a couple of different add-ons. There's one that's about £30, which is an AV booster that has RGB as an option. And the other one is, I can't remember the name of it now, but it's about £300 and it acts as it's an SD card solution, substitute for a CD-ROM player as well on it. So it's quite expensive. It retails over £300 and the company only makes them every now and then. So there's a bit of a queue and a bit of a wait for that. So in the meantime, I managed to pick up a Raspberry Pi for about 20 quid on a local Facebook sale, Raspberry Pi 3 Model B, and I bought this, and these are made in Spain. It comes to €32, which works out to about £30 I think at the moment, and like I say, they supply their own software, so you put that image on a memory card and boot up your Raspberry Pi and you've essentially got a games console. So let's take a look at it and see what you think. So yes, when you switch on your Raspberry Pi with the RGB-Pi image inserted, you're greeted by that funky little intro, and this is the operating system. So you have to put your own ROMs on here. I've already done so. There will be some public domain ROMs on there, at least there was on mine. This is a game image position screen that just lets you adjust it so it's all nicely centered, because each CRT is different. Got some different options here for running the games at certain speed. This is your sound menu. You can switch off the background music, which is handy to know because this plays a lot of different music from a lot of different games, and of course not all music might suit your personal needs, I guess. There's your network. You can hook this up to Wi-Fi or via an Ethernet cable. I've done Wi-Fi. Language settings and other options. Got a few extras here. You can have the FM sound chip switched on on the Master System, for example, and NES games you can have them running with an RGB mode, so they look sharper. So as I already said, I'm mainly going to be using mine as a substitute PC engine. So let's have a look here. We'll go for Alien Crush, I think. Let's load this up. So I'm recording this footage via a DVD recorder, and obviously you're not seeing it through a CRT screen. Now I've got a Panasonic CRT which I'm running this on, and the scan lines and everything look amazing. I have taken some footage of the screen just using a camera recording that, but although you can see the scan lines, unless you see this with the naked eye, your own set of eyes, you know, it's hard to get across how lovely this puts an image out at. It's absolutely amazing. Has to be seen to be believed, really. As I said earlier, the PC engine, unless modded or you get an add-on for it, it doesn't display an RGB signal, so this is great. You know, you're getting the games a lot sharper than what they normally would, but via a CRT, so it gives that impression of how they should have looked back in the day. Okay, let's load something else up. What else have we got? Bunks Adventure. Well-known PC Engine game. I used to play this on the Amiga when it was called PC Kid. Great little game. My son really loves this one. Out of that, let's take a look at something else. What else we got? Yes. Okay, so this is Ghouls and Ghosts, and this is the Super Graphics version. I'm really impressed with this. I've never played it before. It's a great conversion of the arcade game. And compared to the Mega Drive version, its colours are very vibrant. It looks absolutely amazing on screen. And it's just as tough. Okay, let's take a look at something else. Going to the CD-ROM section for the PC Engine. Yes, Rainbow Islands, I think we'll go for. Another game that I used to play a lot on the Amiga and in the arcade, obviously. But yeah, I've got to say there doesn't seem to be any stuttering or anything like that. There's no lag from what I can feel in the controls. It's all tip-top stuff. And again, I'm capturing this via a DVD player, the footage, but I will show off some footage of the screen so you can see the scan lines. But as I say, you really do need to see this with your own set of eyes, really. Okay, let's try something else. Nintendo, we'll go for Double Dragon 2. I've only got 2 NES games on here at the moment. It was just to do a comparison, really, for myself to see how it looks with an RGB output, because the NES is another console, just like the PC Engine. It didn't have RGB as standard, and the games look so good with an RGB signal. Colours are vibrant, nice and sharp, and I'm not talking sharp like a HDMI TV. As I said previously, I think with HDMI on an LCD, games, they just don't look right, they're too sharp, but on a CRT display with the scan lines and just the way it looks, it takes me right back to how these games were originally. In fact, after playing this, I probably will get my NES modded, so it does display an RGB signal. So let's come out of that. Oh, this background music's not very good. Yeah, we'll go on to the Mega Drive, quickly try Sonic. And another good thing about this is all the games, you're given the option of what speed you want them to run at, either 60 or 50 Hertz. And of course, Sonic was written and intended to be a 60 Hertz game, but over in Europe we got a bit shafted. Because a lot of the TVs back then would not display a 60 Hertz picture unless you had a Sony Trinitron. You know, a lot of the cheaper TVs, and not even cheaper TVs, but just a lot of the TVs back then didn't have Scart, and if they did, they weren't always an RGB picture that they would display. So that's why a lot of our gaming systems didn't bother with RGB, but seeing this run at full speed with an RGB signal, again, my Sega Mega Drive 2 needs to be modded. It displays an RGB signal, but it doesn't run at 60 frames per second. So that's another console I need to spend some money on, because I'm not very good at modding these things myself. I'm not very good at soldering. And the other console that I really want to get modded to RGB is the N64, but that is a lot more expensive to get done. Anyway, you get the idea. The game, to me, seems to be running absolutely fine. Again, no lag, feels spot on. I'm just very, very bad at the Sonic games. They're not really something I played. I was an Amiga owner at the time, and all my friends were banging on about Sonic. And of course we had Zool and other games like that, but yeah, it's not really something I played much back in the day. Just go through a few of the settings again, just to show what there is. I really do need to turn this music off as well. Yeah, quickly note there's an option for the FM sound chip on the Master System that you can use. A lot of games in Japan supported the FM chip, so you get a different soundtrack, more enhanced. Credits here to the team behind the RGB-Pi. And I really do think this is a great product. really surprised by it. There is another RGB Scart lead for the Raspberry Pi, as I mentioned earlier, but it doesn't have its own operating system. And all these... There we go, switched off the music, that's driving me mad. All the systems that are supported on here are being displayed pixel perfect. And when I show you how to transfer games over, I will, you'll see a list of all the systems that are supported. So this is Double Dragon on the Sega Master System. It's running at 60 Hz and it's also got the FM sound chip option switched on. So the music is a bit better than most people will be used to. Doesn't make the game any better. And I do apologise, I'm showing Double Dragon games off here, but again, anyone who knows me knows that I love Double Dragon. Even the dodgy home conversions. At least some of them. What else could we load up? Probably got too many games on here. That's the trouble with emulation. I find you end up just flicking in and out of games. Impossible. This is interesting. This was the only console port of the game. It was by Gremlin Graphics. And Monty Mole is, it's a UK character, it's a British creation. Famous on the ZX Spectrum, C64 and the Amstrad. Impossible was the last game and it was developed by Core Design, more famous for Tomb Raider. Not exactly a great game this, unfortunately. It was the last one in the series, as I said, and it doesn't really feel like the original Monty Mole games, but yeah, this is it. Let's have a quick go at this. I don't think I've ever played this version before. Ah, that's frustrating. Yeah, this isn't like the originals whatsoever. Okay, so we're shooting bubbles, are we? Oh, that's good. Strange gameplay mechanics. This is really frustrating. Nice music though. Acid Rain maybe? I don't know. What else have we got? Outrun. Decent port this. It's got to be Magical Sand Shower. I'm going to be rubbish at this. One of the better conversions of Outrun, it has to be said. I think I prefer this to the Mega Drive version, really. I think it's a bit closer in colour. Yeah, I'm not doing very well, am I? Okay, let's take a look at some footage of the games running from the CRT view. So this is the footage that has been recorded with just the camera pointing at my CRT TV. Just a very quick glimpse of some of the games and the menu in action. You can see the scan lines here, but with this footage the colour tends to be faded. Like I say, you really do need to see this with your own eyes really, but honestly guys, the picture on it is amazing. As I said, I don't really go for emulation normally, I prefer the real systems, but this is a bit of a game changer I think. You have to excuse this footage of Operation Wolf. I wasn't actually playing at the time, so we're just getting shot. There's Alien Crush. And again, the colours don't look as vibrant when captured like this, and Ghouls and Ghosts especially looks amazing, it really does. Such a great version on the super graphics. Anyway, I was saying about the games supported, and we're going to take a quick look at my network folder. So yeah, all of those there, if you want to pause the video just to have a quick check, but it pretty much supports everything going, including arcade ROMs. So there you go guys, the RGB-Pi for the Raspberry Pi. If you game on a CRT TV and you're into your emulation, this is a very impressive piece of equipment. Thoroughly recommend it, and I just want to point out, you know, we're not getting paid to advertise this at all. This is just something that I bought myself, and I thought you guys would also be interested in it, and I think you'll be amazed at the picture quality that it puts out. Alright then, until next time, stay tuned to the Retro Asylum podcast show, stay tuned to this YouTube channel, and stay safe. Keep it retro guys, see you soon.